What is going on, everyone? We are back with another review of a new Goosebumps episode. So we just finished watching My Hairiest Adventure. My Hairiest Adventure was directed by David Warry Smith, written by Michael Short, and is based off of Goosebumps book number 26, which is called My Hairiest Adventure. And this episode released January 19th, 1996. Before we get any further, please remember, if you want to see everything that I release a week earlier, hop on over to the Patreon. Description is in the link below. You could be a full 7 days ahead of where you are right now as you watch this. As a whole 7 full episodes of 2 shows combined. So it's going to be like 3 of one, 4 of another, if you catch my drift. But no, so yeah. To give you guys a basic kind of rundown, we have this kid who, his name is Larry, who apparently has allergies, but is constantly chased by dogs every day. And he also plays in a band with his friends. His best friend is really good at chasing off other animals for him, which is really cool for him. However, one of his friends, when they go to pick up his friend the next day, when him and his best friend go to pick up their other friend, when they get to the house that the kid lives in, he doesn't answer. When they go inside, the house is completely empty, like they moved and like they completely disappeared. And the only room that actually still has stuff in it is the kids' room, which would have been their friend's room. They ask, a guy pops out there, is like, hey, I'm selling the place, y'all need to basically leave. During all of this, the main character, Larry, starts to grow some unwanted hair. All over his arms and stuff. So he goes to hang out with his best friend at night, and things go bad because he thought he had shaved off all the hair off of his arms, but it was getting in the food, and no one else had noticed yet, so he runs upstairs to go use the bathroom over at his friend's house. He freaks out, jumps out the window, and runs home. Once he gets home, he talks to his mom. They call the doctor over, and the doctor gives him a shot. And the parents and doctor look extremely like they're hiding something. So the next day, he runs across a dog that looks just like his best friend, has the same 2 different colored eyes, which is called heterochromia, for those of you that don't know. And then the dog is also wearing his best friend's necklace, so he thinks it's her. He goes home to tell his parents, and they tell him that... Or no, he goes to see their parents. Their parents are packing up like they're moving out. And their parents were like, or her parents were like, this person doesn't exist. We don't know what you're talking about. You need to leave. And you need to forget about her. So they leave. He runs home to tell his mom, and eventually comes back home and is like full on hair everywhere, hair on his face, like he's fully turning into what you come to find out is a dog. The twist at the end is the doctor's not a real doctor. He's a scientist, and he has figured out how to turn dogs into humans. So when he was born, he was turned into a human and has been with his family ever since. And that explains all the dogs in the neighborhood as well. All the dogs are experiments where they were originally people. Well, they were originally dogs turned into humans and then reverted back to dogs. The doctor, quote unquote, shows back up later, or at the very, very end, with a new baby. And he is now moved on from dogs and is now turning cats into humans. And you come to find out that it was Larry's pet cat that has been turned into a human, because it's Jasper. So here's the thing. This is an absolutely fun way, and after watching, I definitely remember a lot more of it now. This is an absolutely fun way to tell an almost werewolf-like story without it being like a werewolf story, right? Because he's a kid, he's turning into what, for all intents and purposes, you believe is going to be a werewolf because, it's horror and werewolves are a thing. He's freaking out, and it's just a lot of fun the way they sculpt the story out for him to move, it's a lot of fun. R.L. Stine did a really good job putting this together. One of the things that I didn't mention is at the very beginning when they were doing their garage band thing, they all put on tanning lotion that apparently had expired long before they'd put it on, right? It had expired in 1991, and this is supposed to take place in 1996. So you're talking about 5-year-old tanning lotion. And, through all the panicking and stuff like that, he constantly makes you feel like it's the tanning lotion that is causing all this. And it's not. You find out that it's the way they... It's a science experiment. And like I said, you don't really realize it, it's one that you don't really expect. I guess if you've watched enough horror at this point, you kind of expect it because there's always something fishy that goes on behind most horror stories, and this definitely fits the mold of that. It's a good one though. I feel like if I'm comparing it to all the other Goosebumps stories that we've watched even just so far, and I mean this is episode 11 out of 19, guys, and the next one we cover is Stay Out of the Basement, and that's a 2-parter. So we're gonna cover both of those in the same episode. In fact, we've only got 5 total stories split between 8 more episodes, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 more episodes, 4 stories, 5 stories. So we're getting close to the end of the first season of Goosebumps, which is wild because I'm actually going to have to buy another season of Goosebumps to finish the first season because of how they've decided they put out the collections, because they suck. But so far, and I definitely remember, honestly, we're coming into a couple of my favorite stories from Goosebumps period of all time, right? But we're definitely getting to the point of this is definitely a middle of the pack kind of episode, and again, it's not bad. And yeah, that's that. All right, guys, so that's gonna do it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for this, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what we cover next. I do know that our next thing is another Twilight Zone episode, so we'll be checking that out here shortly. So anyways, love you guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.